1. I'm sorry, there is a problem that you need to resolve. You have bought the concert tickets for today, but at the last minute, you are so sick that you can't even get out of bed. Call your friend and explain your situation. Give 2 or 3 alternatives to your friend. 2. You're supposed to have a singing lesson, but you can't go there for some reason. Call your teacher and then offer 2 or 3 suggestions to reschedule. 3. After buying an MP3, you discovered something wrong with it when you got home. Call a store and explain the problem. 4. You have reserved a camp spot for your family, but someone else seems to be in that spot. Speak with the campground manager and come up with a way to solve the problem. 5. Unfortunately, the real estate agent informs you that he cannot find an apartment in your price range. Contact the agent, explain, and give options. 5. Let's assume your window is broken. Call a repairman and ask him 3 to 4 questions about repairing a window. 6. You made a reservation for a flight, but you need to cancel it because of an urgent matter. Call the travel agency and give 2 to 3 alternatives to solve the problem. 7. I'm sorry, there is a problem that you need to resolve. You bought some clothes for the trip, but you found the clothes are not right for the weather. Call the store and give 2 to 3 suggestions. 8. You made a reservation at a hotel, but the trip was canceled, so you need to cancel that reservation. Call the hotel and explain the situation to cancel the reservation. 9. You made an appointment to visit the gym, but you can't go because you got sick. Call the gym and explain the situation to solve the situation. 10. You had an appointment with a doctor before, but you have to cancel it. Call the doctor's office and ask several questions to reschedule the appointment. 11. You missed the train and will be late for meeting your friend. Call your friend and explain the situation. Give 2 to 3 alternatives. 12. You found that you left your credit card at the restaurant. Call the restaurant, explain the situation, and give 2 to 3 suggestions to solve the situation. 13. You find out that you left your wallet in a restaurant. Call the restaurant and explain to deal with the situation, and offer the manager some solutions to get it back. 14. You have received the new phone, but the features are not what you expected. You want to return it to get a new phone. Call the store, explain the situation, and make arrangements to get a new product. 15. You found the product you bought in the sale was not discounted. Call the store and suggest 2 to 3 alternatives to resolve this problem. 16. You found something wrong with the food you bought. Call the store to explain your situation. Then give 2 to 3 alternatives to refund or exchange it. 17. You ordered the lunch boxes for a lunch meeting, but the wrong food was delivered. Call the restaurant, explain the situation, and give 2 to 3 alternatives regarding the situation. 18. You're supposed to meet a nutritionist, but you can't go there for some reason. Call the nutritionist and then offer 2 to 3 suggestions to reschedule. 19. You've found the clothes you bought for a trip are wrong for the location. Call the store and offer 2 to 3 suggestions to exchange the clothes. 20. Your credit card does not work for some reason. Call the card company. Explain the situation and give 2 to 3 suggestions on how you can resolve the situation. 21. You are supposed to have an interview, but you can't go because of an urgent matter. Call the company and suggest 2 to 3 alternatives to solve the situation. 22. After buying the furniture, you discovered something you were not satisfied with when you got home. Call a store and explain the problem and resolve this problem. 23. You found something wrong with the shirt you bought. Call the store and suggest some alternatives to resolve this problem. 24. You bought a pair of walking shoes. You just found out something was wrong with the shoes. Call the store, explain, and give suggestions. 25. You found the error with the reservation you made. Talk to a manager and suggest some alternatives to resolve this problem. 26. You and your friend are supposed to meet for jogging, but there's been heavy rain. Call your friend to suggest some alternatives to resolve this problem. 27. On the day you're supposed to help your mother, you found you had a previous appointment. You have to cancel. Call your mother, explain the situation, and come up with 2 ways to solve the situation. 28. You have been stuck in a traffic jam, and you think you are going to be late. Call your friend, explain the situation, and give 2 or 3 alternatives regarding the situation. 29. You just had a car accident, and you think you are going to be late. Call your friend, explain the situation, and give 2 or 3 alternatives regarding the situation. 30. You have got an urgent meeting you need to attend. Therefore, you can't go to your grandmother's house for the holiday. Call your grandmother to explain the situation and come up with 2 or 3 ways to resolve the issue. 31. You're supposed to pick your friend up at the airport, but something has come up and you can't make it. Call your friend and explain the situation. Give 2 to 3 alternatives to solve the problem. 32. Unfortunately, one truck hit the bicycle in the shopping mall parking lot, and now it is broken. Call your friend and suggest 2 or 3 solutions to the problem. 33. One of your colleagues left a message that he will be late and come 1 hour later. Call the other colleagues and explain the situation, and give them suggestions to resolve this matter. 34. You borrowed your friend's MP3 player, but you broke it. Call your friend and tell him what happened and suggest 2 or 3 solutions to the problem. 35. When you arrive at your family member's home, you discover that the house is locked and the key is not where you were told it would be. Make a telephone call to your family member's hotel. Leave a message telling him or her what has happened. Offer several ways you can resolve the situation. 36. While your neighbor or family is gone, you notice that there's a serious problem with one of her special plants. Call your friend or your family member, explain in detail what happened to the plant, and make 2 or 3 suggestions. 37. You found that there's an error on the site, your friend said. It does not function properly. Call your friend and explain the situation. Ask 2 or 3 questions to solve the problem. 38. You found an error on the file your friend gave you. It does not function properly. Call your friend and explain the situation. Ask 2 or 3 questions to solve the problem. 39. You are supposed to go on a trip to the city where your friend lives. but you can't go because of an urgent matter. Call your friend and offer 2 or 3 suggestions. 40. You were supposed to meet your friend, but you have to work late at night, so you can't meet your friend. Call your friend and explain the situation and suggest 2 or 3 alternatives. 41. You and your friend are supposed to meet in front of the park, but later you found out that the park is closed. Call your friend to suggest some alternatives to resolve this problem. 42. You're supposed to go to a beach with your friend, but you can't go to the beach because of an urgent matter. Call your friend and explain the situation and offer 2 or 3 suggestions to deal with this problem. 43. You made an appointment with your friend, but you can't because of an urgent matter. Call your friend and explain the situation and offer 2 or 3 suggestions to deal with this problem. 44. You're supposed to have a party, but there's been a problem at your home. The water pipelines have been broken. Call your friend, explain the situation, and give 2 or 3 alternatives regarding the situation. 45. You just had a car accident, and you think you are going to be late. Call your friend, explain the situation, and give 2 or 3 alternatives regarding the situation.